Now this is 5 minutes of gospel, and we're going to look at Mark chapter 6, verses 1 through to 6. Jesus went out from there. Remember, he's just come back from raising Jairus' daughter from the dead. He's delivered this woman who'd been bleeding for 12 years. He had also delivered the demon-possessed man over in the Gadarenes. And it says, Jesus went out from there and he comes to his hometown, which I think would be Nazareth, and his disciples follow him. When the Sabbath came, he began to teach in the synagogue, and the many listeners were astonished, saying, "Where did this man get these things? And what is this wisdom given to him, and such miracles as these performed by his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James and Joseph and Judas and Simon? Are not his sisters here with us?" And they took offence at him. And Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honour except in his hometown and among his own relatives and in his own household." And he could do no miracles there except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and healed them. And he wondered at their unbelief. And he was going around the villages teaching. So Jesus comes back to Nazareth, and at first the people are just blown away by his teaching and the things that God is doing for him. But eventually, they seem to turn, don't they? They turn and say, "This is just Jesus, Mary's son. He's just a carpenter. He's not even been trained as a religious teacher. Who does he think he is?" And Jesus says, "Listen, a prophet is always honoured. He's honoured in every place except for in his own hometown." And because people are familiar with him, people were familiar with Jesus, and perhaps they thought, who is he that he should stand above us or teach us? And they missed out on the wonderful things that he could do for them. And it says, he could do no miracle there except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and healed them. Now, in the scriptures, there is no recorded incident where somebody came to Jesus for healing and he turned them away and said, "It's not your time," or "You can't be healed." He healed everyone who came to him. And in this instance, I think it was probably that people just didn't come to him. The sick who were there in Nazareth didn't come to Jesus. Perhaps they thought, well, if God wants me to be sick, well, he wants me to be well, he'll heal me. But only a few came to him, and Jesus laid his hands on those few still. In his grace and mercy, he didn't just walk out on them, but he healed them. How important it is for us to be of a humble heart, that we will be those who will come to him, believing that he can heal, that he can move in our lives, and that even those who God is using, that we don't despise them, but we receive all that God has got for us, because it's so easy to despise those things that God has sent to us and to just trip over them as if they weren't there. Let's be the people who are humble enough to receive all that the God has got for us, and not be so proud as to have even the Messiah come amongst us and have him pass us by.